Hi, it's Natalie, also known as Knitty Natty, and I'm here with
Rebecca, known as the Rebecca, or my friend Rebecca.
And we just got back from Untangled, which is a separate from Rhinebeck, but like Rhinebeck weekend event in Saugerties, New York. It was our first time.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to share with you our experience with the event and of course what we bought, what we were wearing, all of the fun stuff. So
It was fun.
It was fun. It was worth it.
Yes, it was. For an hour and a half, it was worth the 4 hours travel.
Would you go back?
Probably.
Would you go back?
Probably.
Maybe not the same way we did it.
I know, I'd probably stay there.
Oh, we have stories of our adventure today. But let's actually start with what we were wearing. Do you want to tell them about your sweater?
This is a Me on My Tee by Park Williams.
Oh,
I think it's Park Williams. And it is made from Sandringoon Liney, which is a linen cotton blend from the Netherlands, Scandinavia, over there in those countries that I don't really know the geography of.
Yeah, one of those.
But one of those. But it's really, really comfy. It's great for Texas. It's good for summer.
Yeah.
So
the temperature, the high today was supposed to be 77, but we went up pretty early and it was actually rather nice.
it was really nice.
Yeah. So I did not wear a piece of knitting today. I just wore my cute sushi t-shirt from Nerdbird Makery. She's out of California. But tomorrow we're going to be wearing,
Yes.
well, we're going to try to wear sweaters. It's still supposed to be in the 70s.
We're going to start. We're going to start.
We're going to hope for rain and carry our sweaters with us, I think. Okay, so let's talk about our day. So we got up super early. What time did you wake up?
I got up at 4:45.
I also got, my alarm went off at 4:45. And we met to walk down to the train station at 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And we walked ourselves down to the train station at Penn Station.
She walks fast.
Well, yeah, I'm a New Yorker now. And so we walked down to the train station. We left ourselves plenty of time. We were so worried about missing our train because obviously we would miss the event. But yeah, we're here in Manhattan. We get on at Penn Station at the train and we boarded at like 7 and our train left. And it was a 2-hour train ride. What did you think of the train?
I was impressed. I didn't have high hopes for Amtrak because I'd heard horrible things. But it was really nice. The seats were comfortable. They were big. And I didn't expect everybody to be so nice. And they really were.
People or employees or both?
Well, the person I sat with was really nice. You. And the employees were really, really nice. And I just didn't expect that because being from the South, we all have this opinion. And I'm finding out it's not true because everybody I've run into up here has been so nice.
Yep. That is true.
So, yeah.
Myth debunked.
I'm official. Yes, debunked.
The train is actually pretty great. I mean, maybe we were in like a newer one, but it's bigger than an airplane seat and had a big old, the tray was too big. It was too big. It was like this.
But if once you got started, if you lean the chair back just one notch, it was perfect because that's how I was coming back.
I'll have to do. Did you press the thing on the arm?
It was already done that way. And so then when I didn't want the tray anymore, I was like, why am I sitting like this? Because I'm old and my seats sit straight up. So I straightened it up and I was like, that's why the tray worked.
Cool. Well, that's good to know. So we liked taking the train, but it was quite a journey because it was 2 hours there. Then we took a lift from the train station to Saugerties, New York, and
we got to see where Annie Leibovitz lives, and that her estate is just gorgeous in rural New York. It was so pretty.
Who is that for people that don't know?
Oh, she's a real well-known photographer.
I didn't know that.
She's not old enough to know that.
Our Lyft driver told us. I was like, cool. But it was really beautiful. I mean, we were kind of going through like back roads. I mean, it was a highway, but it was really pretty.
It was a 2-lane country highway through all these little towns and the houses and everything. It was really neat to see small town America from where it's actually still surviving and doing really well. And that was really neat.
Yeah, it was really cute. There's so many cute places to visit there. So
Yeah.
anyway, so we get there finally, 3 hours later. And I mean, we knew that. We signed up for this essentially. And when we got to the event, there was like a check-in place. And then we learned that there was two kind of like, it was at a horse.
It was at an equestrian arena.
Okay, yeah.
And they had stables. They had different arenas for dressage. And it was a beautiful, beautiful area. The trees were just starting to change colors, and that was really neat.
Toaster is like sniffing the yarn that we're going to show you here in a second. I think he wants to get down, but you should just come back over here, buddy. So there were two separate like vendor halls, if you will, but they were open air, like roofed but open. And so basically everyone just split in half and like got in line for one side or the other. And this was an event where you had a set time to go in. So we had the first time of the day, which was from 10 to 11:30 a.m. And then we also got a bag.
Right.
So we both got the same bag. I'm going to show you that. It's really cute. I can't see myself showing it, so I'm going to stand up. But it's just a canvas tote bag, but nice and big with their logo on it. And just lots of little cute swag in there. But I like that it's black because it won't get as dirty as like a cream.
And it's very sturdy, but it's not real heavy. And that's what I liked about it.
Yeah, we ended up putting our purchases in here throughout the day. And it was throughout the day. It was like an hour. But it was funny to watch people walk around with an hour and a half. It was funny because people were walking around with them because everyone got a bag in the first hour. And you could see some people's were like stuffed
already.
Yarn, like, so full. It was great. It was great. And then they also had these little buttons. I'm still wearing mine. So do you want to show all the hugs? Yeah, you can show all of them.
You're wearing the all hugs.
I know, but so we can hold it up close. So they had these little buttons. And you could order these. They're basically like social cues buttons. So you could say, hey, like hugs are cool. I'm fine with hugs. Or you could say, no thanks. Or you could say, do a little lower. Oh, it's so shiny. Ask first, basically. So like a stoplight system, if you will, of.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is a stoplight system. Because it's green. The all good. Yellow is ask. And it's not red. It's more of a grape.
It looks red to me.
Oh.
This looks purple?
It looks purple to me.
Uh-oh.
It's very obviously on the stop, do not go spectrum.
But we thought that was really cool. You could get like one button, or we just decided to get all three because we weren't sure how we were going to feel once we got there. But I'm going to wear mine tomorrow to Rhinebeck too, because I think this is a great way just to, make everyone feel comfortable. And masks were also required once in the vendor halls. So that was nice too.
Because it was open air, if you weren't in the vendor hall and you were just walking around, you didn't have to wear your mask.
Exactly.
So that was really nice.
Because sometimes you need a break for a little bit when you can get away from people. So anyway, so 10 o'clock comes around and they start you got like a wristband. I already took mine. Do you have yours on? You got like a little wristband. They were different colors for the hours.
And they actually have the times on them.
Yeah, and the time is very organized. So you go on in and, we shopped around the first vendor hall. And we did not look up anything in advance, except you knew
I knew one.
You knew one. But so we were just kind of like surprised. So why don't you show the first thing you got?
Okay. I had gotten an email from Untangled about this Woolens and Nosh cornucopia.
Hold it up close for them so they can see the name of the thing. There. Got it.
Got it. Okay. And it's this gorgeous self-striping. And I was like, I want to order it. And then no, not gonna be good. When I order it, when I decided to order it, it was sold out. And they said they weren't gonna have it at the show. And they had it. And it's a fall.
You talk and I'll hold it up there.
Okay. It's a fall self-striping, but instead of a brown, it's a really good purple, dark purple. They're probably with a brown undertone for the predominant stripe. And the others just go in. It's just, I had to have it.
And everyone apparently had to have it because there was like a pegboard of this in front of the booth and it got slammed and people just like bought it immediately.
I think there was one of the worsted weight left.
It was insane.
It was.
So I decided to get some from the same person, Woolens and Nosh. I had not heard of them before. Do we know where they're from, where they're out of? I don't think it says because I was looking at it. But I got a Christmas color instead because I liked the cornucopia, but it wasn't like my favorite. And so I went for a Christmas self-striping and it is called Winter Mint. And this is a 90% Targhee and 10% nylon blend. So
yeah, and
gotta watch out for that when I make socks.
I've never knit with Targhee, so this will be interesting.
Yeah,
but
I'm excited.
It's got a good feel. I think it's going to wear well.
Yeah, it seems to be hardy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got one other thing in that first section, so I'll show it real quick and then we'll talk about the other one. So not that it really matters the order but whatever.
No.
So I also saw this booth. There were so many lovely vendors there. So Happy Jane. And I saw this tweed. Okay, so first of all, Rebecca has been making a tweed Musselburgh hat.
Mm-hmm.
And she was knitting on it on the train. I was like, ooh, I really like that. I want to make some hats for this winter. And so when I saw this, I thought that this would be perfect. This is called Rosy Glow. And then sitting next to it, that's not really wanting to focus.
And it's almost a sweet violet. It
was the same color, but in a mohair silk. And so I got them together. So instead of making Musselburgh, I'm going to make, I've already made this before, but it's called the Everyday Slouchy Beanie by Tristan of Dragon Horde Designs. And so I think I'm going to make that for myself.
I think it'll be gorgeous.
I think it's going to be really pretty. So yeah, once the like seal is broken per se of purchases, it's over. I can't stop.
There's no self-control after that.
Like I was like, I'm either going to buy nothing or everything. We still did pretty good.
And I really went into it with I'm not going to buy anything. I'm not in the yarn mood. And then you see some things made, and that's what happened to us next.
Yes. So there's this like giant countdown timer because again, this is like slotted times.
Mm-hmm.
And so after we went through the first vendor hall, how many, do you think there were maybe 10 to 12 vendors? Like maybe 5 on each side or 6?
I don't think there were more than 10 in the whole first.
I'm talking about the first one.
I don't think there were more than 10 in that.
Yeah. So probably 10.
Was like, well, that would be 5 on each side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we got through that pretty quickly because kind of once you buy something, at least for me, I'm like, all right, it's time to go. It's time to go somewhere else away from all this stuff.
It was like, yeah. Okay.
So we walk over to the other side.
And the first one, there were booths on both sides. So, and it got really claustrophobic and they only let 100 people in there at a time. But everybody wanted to be in the same booth at the same time, it felt like.
There was a huge long line of people checking out for that yarn.
Mm-hmm.
And it was taking up the whole middle of the thing. It was hard to shop on either side, but we kind of saw everything. And so we went over to the other side. And that one had fewer, maybe 6, maybe. It only had one side.
It had one side and it was open on the other side. So it was really nice. And even though there were the same amount of people, it didn't feel so overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. And I think like this was like maybe 45 minutes into our hour and a half. So people had kind of like the frenzy of getting what you had first wanted.
Right.
Was like
just about everybody but us made a list, I think.
Yeah, apparently we're just disorganized or whatever. or fun. And oh, hey, Toaster. So yeah, so I wasn't really, we both were like, I know, he loves to be in these videos. We both were like, you know, we probably don't really need anything else. I was kind of thinking, oh yeah, talk about this pattern first.
I love knitting fisherman's fisherman cables. And there's this company called Hudson and West, and they had the most fabulous sweaters. I'm trying to do that where it's not.
Yeah, tilt it down a little, and sometimes the shine. Yeah, there you go.
And this particular one is called Savin, but the designer also was also there, and she went through all the sweaters that she had designed that were there as samples, and it was really nice meeting the designer. But I can't wait to make this, and it's super size inclusive, which I was really surprised. And, you know, even though that's a big thing now, I'm still finding so many patterns that are not. They stop at an XL, and we're not all XL people, you know. So, but this was really, really neat. And like I said, this is from Megan Babin is actually the designer, but the pattern is called Savin.
We saw a lot of pretty sweaters on display there.
Oh yeah.
After you saw the sweater, is that when you got this?
I actually think I got this in the other.
Oh yeah, you did.
The other room.
Reverse. Okay.
Okay, we're backing up.
Oh, I'll find the patterns to show them.
Okay, I'm trying to get this. Oh, I did it where it's not so much of a glowy thing. This is the Squishy Minis called Smoky October, and it's from McMullen Fiber Company. And I got this because I was just happened to turn my phone on, and Tilly Beans had a new pattern called Halloween. And hers is done in neons.
Halloween.
But I'm not a neon person, but I thought, oh my gosh, these would be gorgeous.
So cute.
A good fall palette for that. So.
I'll try to link the patterns that we're talking about too, including your one you're wearing.
Okay.
Okay, so our last thing we purchased, she
was a submarine.
What does that mean?
You torpedoed me. I wasn't going to buy this. And then I saw that, and I was like, she did it. It's her fault.
No. This starts further back. Last night when we were watching the show.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Okay. So if you haven't watched the show, if you have Hulu, you should watch Only Murders in the Building. Because aside from being really captivating and funny, it has great sweater inspo.
It does.
And Selena Gomez was wearing this awesome sweater. So, okay, this is what's funny, I think. Because we were almost like, we weren't arguing about this, but like, it's a sweater that has two different textures on it. It's a bold striped sweater, and it was like a multicolored kind of a boucle.
Right.
That's all I remember.
Or slub.
Or slub. That's all I remembered. And Rebecca's like, no, it's a fuzzy striped sweater.
Well, but it was, you know how they do a lot of them now where they just add a mohair into the same yarn for a certain number of rows. So you've got a fuzzy stripe that's the same colors, and then a plain stripe and a fuzzy, you know. Mm-hmm. And that's what I saw.
Yeah, so we were like focused on two different parts of it. It was the same sweater. I'm like, no, the other sweater, this one with it. You're like, no, that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, we both really liked the sweater, and so we happened to see a person wearing the same textures. It wasn't multicolored, but it was like slub boucle and like fuzzy gold stripes and kind of a loose fitting sweater. And we're like, yes.
Exactly.
And it ended up being the designer of the pattern. And so we both got slub and fuzzy yarn to make this sweater. The pattern is called Alder Grove, I believe. I took a screenshot of it. Oh, toaster. Okay, yes. The pattern is called Alder Grove, and it's by Samantha something. But I will link it. Okay. Because I don't have the live link. So why don't you show, because your color is so good. And I will make toaster. Stop doing that.
This is my boucle, which is just a good coppery gold. And
What's it called?
It is from Lavender Loon Yarn Company, and it's a slub fingering. So it's a fingering weight, but it can, I'll confess, it can be a challenge to knit, but your project comes out gorgeous.
Is it called Foxy? Is that the name of the
Foxy is the color.
Yeah.
And then this one, which is also Lavender Loon Yarn Company. And this is, it's in the same color Foxy, but I've never heard of baby alpaca, merino, and cotton. And it doesn't pill, or that's what the young lady told us. It doesn't pill, but it's a little bit sturdier than a mohair or a baby alpaca, but it still it has a good squish and feels. But so those will be mine together.
Yes. And so the yarn dyer and the pattern, the yarn dyer was there too, but the pattern designer had knit with this yarn and designed the sweater. She was working in the booth as well. And so her sweater was totally solid. Like you couldn't see through the slub. You couldn't see through the alpaca, which I probably called it mohair. I'm probably going to keep doing that. But I also got some yarn for this. So you might see us twinning in these soon. But my color is called Shy Away. I actually didn't even know that until just now. It's definitely like corally pink. Sometimes it looks a little more orangey. But yeah, so here's the blend. There wasn't like a true pink, so that's why we had to go in a different direction. But yeah, it's so pretty, and
it's a good blush.
Yeah, I'm excited to knit this. It will be interesting to knit the slub for sure. I feel like that I can see how that's a challenge. So those are our purchases.
That was it?
Yeah. And then after we shopped,
continues.
Yeah. Oh yes, yes. So after we shopped, they had a couple of food trucks. They had Mexican food, sandwiches, and then they had a bakery.
Oh, was that good?
Oh my gosh, it was the best brownie I've ever had, I think. So we actually sampled everything because I got Mexican food and it was really good.
And I got the wrap and it was really, really good.
And then I got a brownie to bring home to Kent because, well, I mean, I was going to eat half of it. I knew that, but it was a pumpkin chocolate brownie. So like as soon as we got home, I cut it in half and I gave him half and I warmed mine up in the microwave.
That's what I was going to ask.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. And I don't remember.
Can you imagine that with vanilla ice cream on top?
I sometimes like that.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge vanilla ice cream fan. And then it makes the brownie cold and hard again. I mean, I feel like it probably would have been really good. But yeah, it was so good. I can't remember what the bakery was. But so we had some lunch and then we were like, we better get going. Like that was our only plan for the day. So we needed to get back to the Amtrak station, which was a 30-minute Lyft ride there. And then take our train back to New York City.
Yeah, gotta love Lyft.
It's not their fault. We were out in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, so there was two other women that we know from Texas that were also there, and we kind of like, you know, we traveled separately, but we knew each other were there, and we were like, why don't we just ride back to the train station together because we're taking the same train. So we're both trying to get lifts. We're like, let's get a Lyft XL so we can all fit, and then we were like, maybe it'll be easier to just get a regular Lyft separately. And we could not get anyone out there. So we were like, okay, so our train comes in like an hour and we can't get out of here. And so I put
we're like 13 miles away from the train station, so it's not like we can walk it.
Oh, definitely not. We might as well just stay and camp overnight and go to start walking to Rhinebeck across the river. So anyway, I put out an SOS on Instagram, like, can anyone take us? And just about that time.
And then I got brave. You may not be able to tell this, but I'm incredibly shy and I am an introvert to the T. I walked up to some strangers and said, I hate to ask this, but our Lyft stranded us. Can we have a ride back to Rhinecliff? And they were like, well, we're not going there, but sure. And it was a couple from England with their friend from America, and we couldn't have had better angels that just were like, Yeah, sure, why not? You know, they looked it up to see if it was okay on the map. And they're like, yeah, we can do that. And it was probably 20 miles out of their way to do that for us.
So we crammed into the car.
Yes.
I mean, we had the proper seating, but it was like 3 adults in the middle seat and like 2 in like, you know, the back.
We had 7 people in a minivan, in a small compact minivan. Yes. And the 3rd row seat was about this wide. And
you little rascal.
So yeah,
it was an adventure. Fun. And the train ride back, I will say, like the train ride there was kind of exciting because obviously we were excited to go and it was beautiful to see. But the ride back, I was just like kind of ready to come back.
We were kind of ready to come back, and plus the fact the train would stop in between stations and just sit there.
I think it was
something early,
letting everything clear out in front of it. It was just very slow. It was super slow. Yeah. I think it was like 2 hours on the dot there, and like maybe 2.
It was probably 2.5 coming back.
I think it was 2.5. Yeah.
Because we were 30 minutes coming back into Moynihan's.
Yeah, it was a while, but we're here, and now we're gonna get some Chinese food and chill because we're doing it again tomorrow.
It couldn't have been too bad if we'll do it again tomorrow.
Tomorrow's the big Rhinebeck day, and we're maybe gonna sit down and do the same thing, kind of talk about Rhinebeck. But it will be much later tomorrow night. So we'll see how we're feeling. If not, I'll recap it and, I don't know, post your pictures on Instagram or something. I don't know. But we're going to be wearing our matching sweaters tomorrow. So
yes,
definitely look for pictures of that. And anything else that we didn't share?
Thanks, and subscribe to Love and Stitches Knitty Natty.
If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. hit the thumbs up and the notification bell.
I forgot those 2.
I never say anything like that, so that's really funny, actually. Thanks so much for watching, and
Thank you.
We'll have more Rhinebeck stuff soon. Bye.
Bye.